The Gospels tell us that just after his baptism, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness for 40 days, where he was tempted by the devil. The desert in the spiritual life is the place of temptation, trial, and purification. Adam also lived a wilderness time. The Chronic Care Hospital, because of government policy, refused to take Adam until he was 18 years of age and eligible for a government disability pension. When his first check arrived, Jean took it to the hospital. They accepted it and opened a bed for Adam. Jean and Rex were introduced to Adam's roommates on his first day in the hospital. An 80-year-old stroke patient who was bedridden and unable to communicate, a gentleman suffering from multiple sclerosis, and a young Jamaican paralyzed because of a broken neck suffered in a work-related accident. The room was large, with 2 big windows. Adam's bed was close to the door. The following day, when his mother came for an afternoon visit, she found Adam up and dressed, sitting silently, but tied, hand, waist, and foot, to his wheelchair. In a state of shock, disbelief, anger, and sadness, she told the staff that Adam was truly not going anywhere and that the restraints were not needed. In time, they got to know Adam and his needs. The hospital was understaffed, so there was little presence and no programs to take patients out of their rooms or to offer them stimulation of mind or body. Physical attention was given on schedule, trays were delivered, but life was dull, boring, and lonely. Within a short time, the parents had taken on the responsibility for feeding Adam his noon and evening meals. Friends were invited or offered to come and feed Adam when his parents couldn't be there. This provided Adam with visits, conversation, and special treats which only those who knew him could provide. In the 5 years that Adam lived his desert experience, he never spoke his feelings and thoughts about his life in the hospital. He couldn't protest or rally for a better life. He couldn't even show his loneliness, his pain, or his discontent. For many hours in the days and in the nights, he was alone and silent, patiently waiting for a home. Regularly, Adam came home for the weekend. Rex comments, "He was such a gentle soul, and we loved to have him with us." While they tried desperately to make life as comfortable as possible for Adam, the main concern for Jean and Rex was to find Adam a place that could be his home. They continued their search. They visited homes, agencies, and institutions in all parts of Ontario, seeking a placement suitable for Adam. One day, Rex discovered that Adam had once again had a seizure and hit his chin, forcing his front teeth up into his gums. No one noticed that it had happened, so he did not know how long Adam had been waiting for treatment and relief. When Rex asked for help, he was told that there were no dentists on staff and he would have to take Adam to see his own dentist. This time, Adam lost his 2 front teeth. Rex and Jean got close to Adam's roommate, Peter. Peter sometimes looked rather frightening because his hair was thick, black, and bushy, but in fact, he was a most patient and gentle man. He became, in a way, a spokesperson for Adam. When Jean and Rex would come, he could tell them that Adam had had a bad night, that Adam had had no seizures that day, or that certain friends of Adam had been in to visit. Peter had friends from the Jamaican community in Toronto who often visited him, but the visit he cherished the most was that of his mother. She rode the bus from New York once a month, bringing a bit of home with her love and her Jamaican food for Peter. Peter also loved Rex, Jean, Adam, and their friends, who conversed with him and helped him to pass his long and lonely days. Adam's time in the hospital was without doubt his desert. Just as God's Spirit overshadowed Jesus in the Jordan and then drove him into the desert, That same Spirit overshadowed Adam during his time at home and drove him to this place of purification. It was a time of temptation, maybe not so much for Adam himself as for those who had seen in him a gift and had called him our peacemaker. They were discouraged in their search, and by the definition that our society gives to marginal people. Who was there to recognize this beautiful man of God in a place that is large, anonymous, routinely run, and understaffed? Who could acknowledge Adam's uniqueness in a context where he and all his fellow patients were approached not so much as human beings, but as objects of care? Who could celebrate Adam's life when there was hardly time to give him a bath and feed him? There was pressure to forget Adam's divine origin and sacred mission. Adam was sent to bring good news to the world. It was his mission, as it was the mission of Jesus. Adam was, very simply, quietly, and uniquely, there. He was a person who by his very life announced the marvelous mystery of our God. I am precious, beloved, this mystery, which has nothing to do with whether or not he could speak, walk, or express himself, whether or not he made money, had a job, was fashionable, famous, married or single. It had to do with his being. He was and is a beloved child of God. It is the same news that Jesus came to announce, and it is the news that all those who are poor keep proclaiming in and through their very weakness. Life is a gift. Each one of us is unique, known by name, and loved by the one who fashioned us. Unfortunately, there is a very loud, consistent, and powerful message coming to us from our world that leads us to believe that we must prove our belovedness by how we look, by what we have, by what we can accomplish. We become preoccupied with making it in this life, and we are very slow to grasp the liberating truth of our origins and our finality. We need to hear the message announced and see the message embodied over and over again. Only then do we find the courage to claim it and to live from it. Jesus didn't accomplish much during his lifetime. He died as a failure. Adam didn't accomplish much either. He died as poor as he was born. Still, both Jesus and Adam are God's beloved sons. Jesus by nature, Adam by adoption. And they lived their sonship among us as the only thing that they had to offer. That was their assigned mission. That is also my mission and yours. Believing it and living from it is true sanctity. These years in the hospital were the concluding years of Adam's hidden life. In so many ways, Adam was only a client to most of the professional teachers, doctors, nurses, dentists, social workers, pastors, and government employees who met him, worked with him, and yet failed to recognize or receive his beautiful spirit, his enduring patience, and his gentle heart. But Rex, Jean, and their friends kept Adam's truth alive. They overcame the temptation to look only at Adam's disabilities. Indeed, they accepted that he couldn't change stones into bread, or jump safely from a high tower, or acquire great wealth. But he didn't have to do any of these worldly things, because they knew his belovedness deep in their hearts. This divine knowledge made them look for more than 5 years for a home for Adam, a place where he could manifest his gifts and exercise his unique ministry. Daybreak wasn't equipped to welcome Adam because of his physical and medical needs. But with time, friendship was blossoming between the parents and the people of Daybreak. The community that had welcomed Michael as one of its core members also came to see Rex, Jean, and Adam's great sorrow. Gradually it became clear that Adam should be with his brother at daybreak, and that all the arrangements to allow this to happen needed to be made. Daybreak's preparation was long. One of the assistants was sent to L'Arche in France to become acquainted with caring for people with greater physical and medical needs. A section of the new house was renovated with a special bathroom, railings along the walls, and wheelchair accessibility. A special day program was initiated to provide daytime activities for core members in the wider community of Richmond Hill. It took more than a year, but finally, everything was in place to welcome Adam to his new home. There was hope for Rex and Jean. There was joy for Michael, who had been waiting all these years to live with his brother. There was expectation, some fear, and much excitement for all the people in Daybreak to welcome Michael's brother and to expand its mission to include someone with greater needs. On May 1st, 1985, Rex and Jean helped to move their second son to the new house at Daybreak. Michael was on hand and full of joy. Jean cried as she arranged furniture and clothing in his new room. Rex joked with the assistants as they unloaded Adam's belongings. His public life was beginning.